Good afternoon, I'm Raylene Ramsey. This is your afternoon news fix for Thursday, the 4th of December. The government's rejected Climate Change Commission recommendations to strengthen emissions targets. The Commission suggested New Zealand should shoot for a 10% reduction on 2017 levels of gross biogenic methane emissions by 2030. Here's more from political reporter Troy Matic.
The Commission said by 2050 that should have gone down by at least 35 to 47%. Instead, the government's opted to set a 2050 target of 14 to 24% reduction. It also dismissed the Commission's advice to keep lowering emissions after 2050.
Meanwhile, the scale of Ministry for the Environment cost savings have been laid out. Agency leaders outlined the recent financial year to a select committee today. Environment Secretary James Palmer says spending decreased from $240 million to $180 million, with 278 redundancies.
And our permanent workforce reduced from 824 down to 686 as of 31 October this year.
Delight from the Retirement Commission over plans to make retirement villages fairer. The government's announced it'll change the Retirement Villages Act 2003, including making legal documents clearer and requiring operators to be upfront about offers. This will ensure money's repaid no more than a year later when someone moves out of a unit. If it stays empty, interest on the money will be repaid after 6 months. Commissioner Jane Wrightson says it's terrific.
What the proposals are doing is rebalancing the rights and obligations of residents and the operators. So it's a good move.
No verdict yet for an ousted Te Pāti Māori MP who's taken on the party president. Maria Meno Kapakingi has made a bid in court, hoping for an order to return her place in the party and get rid of John Tamahere. A decision's been reserved. Kapakingi says the party's kaupapa is important to her.
There have been consistently attempts from others, from my electorate, from my ngāpuhitanga, from my, te taitokero to resolve. It hasn't worked out that way.
A California doctor who supplied ketamine to Friends star Matthew Perry has been put behind bars for 30 months. The 54-year-old died from an overdose in LA in 2023. Dr. Salvador Plasencia was the first person sentenced over his death. The BBC's Peter Bowe says Perry had been trying to wean himself off drugs.
This doctor encouraged him and indeed pestered him to some extent, according to the prosecution, to buy more drugs from him to the tune of $2,000 per vial.
And Christchurch is getting an Eagle helicopter to help police knuckle down on local youth crime. In sport, the stoush has intensified between those pushing for a revamped NZ20 short format competition from 2027 and a consortium in support of the New Zealand cricket governing body further weighing up options. Arsenal have restored a 5-point lead in football's Premier League by beating Brentford 2-0. Liverpool's struggles have continued, slipping to a 1-1 home draw with Sunderland. And giant Kiwis prop Nelson Asofa Solomona will begin his pro boxing career next month in Brisbane. That is your latest news fix, and we'll be back with another update for you tomorrow morning from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.